Peter and Julie here. Hope you guys are all having an amazing week. Amazing Tuesday. Julie, is today the week before Christmas?
I think we're 2 weeks before
2
Christmas,
weeks before Christmas. Okay.
but it's starting to feel a lot like Christmas, like that song.
It is. It is. We actually put up our tree yesterday. In the middle of putting it up, I was told that when I took it down last year with my youngest son, I actually broke the star. So today we got a new star. So all's good. All's well that ends well, right?
Yes. I'll tell you, today was the first day I've done any shopping for Christmas. They had some good sales online at Macy's, so I got a few things, but it's not unusual for me to kind of wait towards the last minute to get some Christmas presents. Because if I get them too early, Peter, I'll tell everybody what I got them. I'm just one of those types of people. I cannot hold a secret.
That's funny. Well, having said that, my wife informed me today that she has not started either. And as you know, we're leaving here for a whole week on Sunday. So we're going to be back like 3 or 4 days before Christmas. And she's like, tomorrow I'm getting online and ordering like whatever, 30 or 40 presents. I'm like, pretend I didn't hear that.
Well, at least you got her to do that for you, and you don't have to worry about it, huh?
Good point. Well, listen, as you guys are hearing Julie and I chat, tell us where you're calling in from or dialing in from, zooming in from. Tell us where you're at. Maybe tell us what you're doing for Christmas. We'd love to hear from you guys. We got Cumming, Georgia in the house. We got Erica in the house. We got, what's up, Eugene from Chicago in the house. We have Barbara. We have, I don't know how to scroll this thing. We have Maryland in the house. What's up, Roy from Dallas? Miami. Actually, Julie and I are talking about going to Miami with one of our partners, either end of January or beginning of February, one of our West Coast killer partners.
Is that where he's wanting to go, is Miami?
Well, with this whole COVID, they're thinking they're going to shut down West Coast. And so we were just
Hey,
talking.
I'm up for it. I'm ready to go somewhere warm in February. That's not going to be bad at all.
It's not going to be hard to convince you, right?
It's not hard to convince me to go anywhere.
I hear you. Hey, by the way, those of you, as we're kind of chit-chatting back and forth, if you're all connected with us on Facebook or social media, go check out our, if you're a partner, go check out the partner page. Julie and I put a video up last time. It was her and Brian and Ira and Chelsea and Rafa and myself. What was it, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
We spent a week in, why am I forgetting?
It's Santa Rosa Beach.
Santa Rosa Beach. And so we did we took a videographer with us. And so like, if you're not a partner, you can't get access to our private Facebook community. Check out my personal page. Just go to Facebook, put my name in. We did a really cool video we just put up. So what's up, Steven? New York City in the house being represented. Eric, what's going on?
And I know we talked about this earlier, Pete, but I have a question for everybody.
All right, shoot.
So just since we're getting close to Christmas and everything, and we were just talking about this, who has got their Christmas shopping done? 100%, you haven't started, maybe you're halfway there. Put it in the chat. NC Scott said they haven't even started. Erica, she's halfway there. Good job. And Erica's got 4 kids under the age of 10. I know that. So that must be Barbara. She's done. Congratulations, Barbara.
My prediction is this year, the sales through the internet are going to go. They were already going up higher and higher every year, but this year, because of the COVID, I'm predicting like it's going to be like crazy. 80 to 90% of all the shopping this year is going to be done through online. That's kind of my sideline prediction. Yeah. I'm jealous too, those that are done. What's up, Talon? How you doing? Eugene, we got to make our way into Chicago. I've had 3 visits to Chicago my whole life. The last time I was there, I was with one of our partners, Antonio. Julie, I know you know who Antonio is. We did 3 deals with Antonio, and I was there in the middle of the summer, like probably it was the hottest 1 or 2 days of the year. So Eugene, you've been a long-term player with us, and we appreciate you a ton. And I think we made a commitment, Julie and I and Rafa and Chelsea, that we're going to do like a bunch of trips this year. And I think the Windy City would be a fun one to take.
Yeah, this next trip you go to Chicago, maybe it should be when it's super, super cold. Then you got like the day it was really hot and then really cold.
I don't know if you've been to Chicago when it's cold. My God, there's a absolute reason they call it the Windy City, and it gets freezing there. Absolutely freezing here. So we're gonna get started here in a minute or two, guys. We appreciate you guys being on. I mean, this is the time of year where people kick you back. This is the time that people take time off. This is the time that you put like. And let's face it, real estate for many is not the main thing. It's the side thing. And this is the time that people put their side hustles on hold. And if you're dialing in tonight, man, kudos to you. That is just absolutely awesome. To keep it going, to keep on building it, to be, fighting out there. So Julie and I are going to talk about some technical stuff today, because today we're going to give you some nuggets of what you got to do, whether it's holiday time, non-holiday time. We're going to talk about marketing. I don't know if there's a more pertinent, more important subject that she and I could ever discuss other than marketing. And that's what we're going to hit on today. So anyway, having said that, let's roll into it, guys. First of all, thank you for being here. On behalf of Julie and myself, we are excited that you guys are here. I mean, we've been doing these forever, and I don't know about you, Julie, but like me, still, I always dial in. I'm thinking, what if I'm the only one that dials in today? Or what if only one person shows up? And what if, I don't know, I have that and I did around holiday time, I still have that thinking, what if everyone takes time off? But no, we both appreciate you guys being here. Honestly, I think today's hardcore people, really, truly hardcore people, whether you're a partner or you're a non-partner. I think you're hardcore from a standpoint that this is where you want to be. This is the business you want to be at. If you're a partner, you're just trying to, soak up as much information as you can, and we're going to deliver it to you today. Today, we're going to give you some cool stuff, not necessarily new stuff. There is nothing new in real estate, guys. I promise you. Everything, there is no, maybe when the drones come out, that'll be the new thing. But there's just different ways of splicing and dicing things. There's new kind of technology things. We have all that. But in the end, we're going to kind of just reinforce some things for those of you that understand this thing. But for those of you that are coming in and you're ooh, marketing, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, we're going to really deliver for you guys today. So if you're a partner here tonight, we're so glad you guys are here. Again, this is just another point of contact between Julie and you and myself. If you're a partner, you have the ability to connect with us literally on a daily basis if you'd like. And so as a partner, I always tell the partners the same thing day in and day out, because it's what I needed to hear, for the first 5-10 years in this business. It's a chance for you tonight to reset, recharge, recommit, and take it to the next level. So again, so glad you guys are here if you're a partner. If you're not a partner tonight, then you're probably checking us out. I mean, that's really the bottom line. Because we have a very unique model. Some people are just educators in this business, and that's all they do. They teach. They're great folks. They have great teaching. And so when you dial into one of those educators, like one of those, we call them so-called gurus, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get to learn, and you're going to see if you like that person's style and learning and all this. Not with Julie and I. With us, when people check us out, you check us out from a standpoint I guess some people check us out from a standpoint, do I want to learn from them? But what separates us from that whole world out there is that we are deal people. Okay. So when people are checking us out, it's usually from a standpoint of, do they know what they're doing? Do I feel comfortable with them? Have they ever done real estate before? Because that's how we promote ourselves. We do not promote ourselves as gurus, as great educators, as great, we have these amazing theories about real estate. We kind of, our flagship is very simple. We are real estate investors. First and foremost, we did investing way, way, way before we did any kind of teaching. And we just kind of swerved into this model. I wish I could sit here and tell you that Julie and I stayed up at night and came up with these ingenious, no, we literally just swerved in, and we realized some time ago that the way for us to grow our personal real estate investment business is to start partnering and start doing deals with people along the way. And as we started doing that, something magical happened. We, at this point, I feel confident in saying this. We created a movement. I mean, that's what it is. It's no longer just us doing deals with people. I mean, that's what it was in the beginning. We're like, how do we do more deals? Why don't we get a bunch of people across the United States and help them out and do more deals so we could do more deals? We still want to do more deals. But now we feel like we have a movement. We have a movement of people with the same mindset, same end destiny, same goal. And so the motto of Partner Driven is really becoming, hey, take as much as you need. Take our coaching, take our mentorships, take our leadership, take our leads, take our technology, take our funding, take our construction, take, but give back. Give back. That's our motto now. So if you feel like that you could benefit from daily coaching and mentoring, if you could benefit from lead gen, if you could benefit from technology, if you could benefit from funding on your deals, if you could benefit from back office support, if you could benefit from help with construction, and then we just put these properties in the market and sell them, and you feel like that's something that you want to be a part of, then that is what our partner driven model is all about. Now there's some of you guys have dialed in today and you guys are ready to get going. I mean, literally you dialed in today because you want to get started. And so I have just been texted a very special team member that's on standby. If you're ready to get started tonight, we want you to touch base with Erica at 470-451-2474 and she'll get you rolling. By the way, if some of you guys are dialing in tonight and you've been talking to maybe another team member along the way, and you're like, yeah, tonight I'm ready. This is it. Let's blow 2021 away. Then just touch base with that team member. And they're probably waiting for your call and you can't get a hold of them. Just call Erica and they'll figure it out behind the scenes. Anyway, I always tell people, like, as Julie and I do this on a weekly basis, and we've been doing these things forever. We have different themes we run with. Like sometimes we'll just tell stories. She and I will kick back and we'll just like reminisce, like, wow, remember when this happened? Remember when that happened? Sometimes we'll bring a partner on board. And like last week, was that last week with Chris?
Yeah, with Chris.
Last week we had Chris on board and Chris was just a partner. He's done tons of deals. He's got an amazing, inspirational story. And so it was showcasing what our partners are doing and what we're doing with them. But sometimes we get like down to the nitty gritty, like here's what you got to do to start making money, like techniques, strategies, how-tos. And that's what tonight's all about. Tonight, we want to talk to you about marketing. Okay. We want to talk to you guys about marketing. We want to tell you about what we do because, oh, by the way, we still do deals. Julie, When was the last time, like not someone else, but you personally ran an appointment and put a property under contract?
Well, last Saturday and Sunday, actually.
Okay, just for those of you that are going to be listening to this in a recorded format, last Saturday or Sunday was 2 days ago. So we ourselves do what we do with our partners. Okay?
I mean, it's my favorite thing to do, Peter. I mean, actually I love seeing other partners do deals, but going on appointments and, putting properties under contract and doing exactly what we teach is a joy in my life. I told somebody the other day, whenever I was going to get that contract signed, do you know how like you get it signed and you get in your vehicle and you go to drive off? Do you know that feeling like where you almost got like butterflies in your stomach? I still have that to this day. And there's no other feeling like that. Like just, taking it from start to finish. And I never want that feeling to go away either.
And I will tell you, because she won't tell you, she's about as good as it gets at it. She's an amazing acquisition person. She knows how to take a deal from A to Z. But I would say Julie, with no question about it, her real specialty is that front end. Talk to seller, build a relationship, negotiate the deal, put under contract, bring it in house. So my point in saying this, what we're going to teach you guys today, we're doing. Like, this is not something we did years ago and like, well, boy, I hope this still works. Or this is not something we're going to do like 5 years from now. And we're like, well, I hope this thing, no, this is something we're doing ourselves on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. If you're a partner of ours, this is something we're telling you to do on a daily basis. And so tonight we kind of want to talk to you about what do you have to do in terms of marketing, in terms of finding deals, and I personally, and I know I speak on Julie's behalf, feel very strongly that this is a very, very timely subject to be talking about. because right now, literally, and I made up this word about real estate, but I've been like, I've claimed it. We're at an equilibrium right now in real estate. And what I mean by that is this. I have in 20, 23, 24 years of doing this business, I have never seen the kind of motivation that we're seeing right now from sellers for everyday common reasons why people get motivated. But on top of that, we had this first tier motivation that impacted everybody across the board equally, and that's the obviously the COVID. And so there's huge motivation. That motivation will only get higher and higher. And it's really our responsibility as investors to help these people out. I mean, really, nobody looks at us as frontline people, and we don't claim to be doctors and physicians that are literally saving people's lives. But we are saving their financial lives, and we are saving their financial futures, and we're helping tons and tons and tons of people. And we're only gonna, and I'm just take it from somebody that's been doing this for a couple of decades. It's only going to get higher and higher. So the equilibrium point is that there's huge motivation from sellers, but the other end, there's huge demand for real estate. Because as bad as COVID has been across the nation, the world, there's people that did not get affected at all. There's people that make tons of money into it. And as a result of that, there's tons and tons of money coming into real estate, both at the retail level, meaning people that want to buy a house to live in, right? Because money's so cheap. So they're out there, shopping, jumping into deals, jumping into homes, and also at the investor level, tons of new cash. And so we are literally at this equilibrium point. And so right now, this piece of identifying deals, I think, is more important than ever. So if you're a partner, you're going to hear something from us tonight that you've heard before, but please stay to the end, because I'm going to put a bow on it at the end to really blow this whole thing up. Okay. If you're a non-partner tonight, if you're a non-partner tonight, I think you're going to learn a ton. You're going to learn a ton about how we find our deals. You're going to see a theme in this thing. Okay. You're going to see a theme of who we go after. As great as things are right now, there are some channels that you shouldn't even be going after right now. There's some way that some of you guys are out there looking for deals in the wrong places. So we want to really zero in on marketing, acquisitions, where the deals are located, how to correctly go after them. And the format tonight is going to be pretty simple. I'm going to flip it to Julie here in a minute or so. She's going to talk about a strategy to find deals. She's going to flip it back to me. I'm going to talk to you about a strategy to find deals. I'm going to flip it back to her. She's going to talk about it, and then I'm going to put a bow on it. I'm going to tell you this unbelievable thing that we here at Partner Driven are doing, where literally everything that we are going to be talking about for our partners, we're tying it all together and going to be delivering it literally to you on a silver platter. So whether you want to just do all this yourself, great. Or as a partner, you want to just take advantage of us delivering for you. This is all very, very important, very, very, very critical stuff. I will tell you, because we're not going to talk about it, and some of you are going to be like, why didn't you guys talk about this? So I'm going to tell you what is off the table right now. What is off the table right now is things like, let's say, working with a real estate agent and finding deals on MLS. Because of such competition right now, and because they are such huge players with literally billions of dollars in the game right now, like hedge funds, the reason MLS is off the table right now is they're paying almost dollar on a dollar. I mean, there's hedge funds that they have to spend like $5-6 billion. And when you have to spend $5-6 billion in a year, you're not trying to buy stuff at 60 cents on a dollar. There's just not enough of it out there. When you're spending that kind of money, a property goes up for $100,000, you pay $100,000. Okay. So bottom line is we as investors cannot compete at that level. Okay. There's some other things right now, banks, for instance, the REO market is going to explode ultimately. But right now there's been a moratorium and all this. So for you to sit here and pound the phone and try to get REOs today, it will get explosive here in 2021. Today, probably not the best opportunity. The wholesale world. Some people, especially new people, jump in and try to buy properties from wholesalers. That's an art form. Yeah, I can tell you if you're trying to get deals from wholesalers, 98% of stuff you're looking at, the person that showed you doesn't even have a contract on it. So you get in a lot of technicalities. But where the game is right now, it is going after owners directly. By the way, that's always been a game to a degree. I mean, no one's ever said going after owners is a bad thing. Okay. But there were times, I mean, there was a, I don't know, 4 or 5 year span where I bought probably 500 properties from local real estate agents. Okay. So, but in today's environment, everything else is almost out, but you have to go after owners and you have to put yourself in a position of an advantage, because I promise you, we're not the only ones who realize that. Like anyone who has any sophistication in this game knows that they have to go after owners. Okay. So if we're all competing after the same kind of the world, the only way you win that competition is you have to know how to differentiate yourself. You have to understand how to take, how to put yourself in a position of being first to the party, not last to the party. You have to have technology in place. You have to get an advantage, right? And so the way we do it, we feel like we put ourselves and our partners in a huge, huge point of advantage. So Julie, let me flip it over to you. Let's talk about whatever first technique or strategy that you want to talk about today in terms of going after motivated sellers.
Peter, I want to talk about this subject because this subject is how a lot of people find some of their first deals. Okay. And actually, even though I say it's how a lot of people find their first deals, I still do this. I enjoy doing this strategy. And whoever's listening tonight, this is one of those strategies that no matter how much money you have, there's no reason why you can't do this. You get what I'm saying? It's not like you've got to pay a couple $1,000s to go market on Facebook, or you've got to spend, money on direct mail, which all of these things are good ideas. Don't get me wrong. But would you guys like me to show you one of the most inexpensive ways to find deals, which by the way has the highest conversion rate of any other strategy? So yeah, I'm telling you, it's the most inexpensive and the highest converting rate. The difference with this strategy is it takes a little bit more work on your behalf. So if y'all don't mind, we're going to kind of go through it. And I'm going to explain this. This is called, a lot of you have heard it before. It's called driving for dollars. So let's see here. Kristen, would you please allow me to do a screen share? Okay, awesome. All right. So we shared the screen here. You see in the screen, Peter?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So if you'll see here, I said driving for dollars. It's like seriously, you can really make a lot of money doing this. I'll tell you, probably over the years, I've made a little over $5 million just from this strategy alone. Yeah, you heard that right. Literally driving around looking for properties that are in a distressed situation. But don't worry, I'm going to explain every bit of it to you as we walk through this. Okay. So let's talk about what is driving for dollars. And what does that mean to you? Okay. So one thing I used to do when I was younger is my dad was a mechanic, right? And one way he used to earn extra income is literally we would drive around, and Pete, when you would see old cars in someone's yard, my dad is a master mechanic. So he could take a car from someone's yard, literally bring it back to the house, fix it back up, and resell it, right? So we would drive around and we would look for different vehicles and make offers on these cars and trucks so that he could resell them. Well, guess what? That's the exact same thing with houses instead of cars. Okay. So you probably know what things about a car might lead you to believe that they need to be worked on, right? Like you could see this, Mustang here, needs a lot of work. But let's talk about some things that maybe a house might need. Now, let me go ahead and tell you, I'm not looking for anything that's already for sale. And I know that's super counterintuitive because you're probably thinking, well, why would I call somebody that doesn't have a house for sale? Well, we'll get to that in just a minute. But let's say you're driving around and you're looking in your areas. Now, I personally like blue collar, middle class homes. And in those areas, there's just a lot more opportunity in those areas. But I literally drive around these areas, up and down these roads, and I look for properties that lead me to believe that they're in a distressed situation. So put it in the chat now. If you were to look at a house and you're thinking, okay, they might be in a distressed situation, what are some things that you may physically see with your eyes about a property that leads you to believe they're in a distressed situation? Put it in the chat now. Barbara, that's right. Unloved, tall bushes, grass, trash. Roy says overgrown lawn. You're exactly right. Eunice says dirty. Yeah, maybe it needs pressure washed, unkept lawn. Keep it going, guys. None of these answers are bad. Gary said a bad roof. That's a good telltale sign. A tarp on the roof. It's empty. Yeah. It needs a new paint job. Blankets in the windows instead of curtains. Okay, so do you guys feel that you could drive around and search for these properties that are in a distressed situation? Anybody have any questions about what you should look for? Overgrown landscape, sheets in the windows instead of blinds, the gutters are hanging off, there's old cars, there's trash strewed all over the yard. Do you know for every 70 properties that I find like this, I'll actually close a deal? So, I mean, and I paused there for a minute because guys, it really, for me and for you, it's that easy. And I wouldn't say easy, but the more properties that you find and work, the more opportunities that you have to close a deal. I know when I want to go close another deal and I don't have anything in the pipeline, which by the way, I always keep things, but all I got to do is go, okay? By the way, and you're going to see our app Deal Driven. For those of you that don't know, you can use it when you're driving. Literally, get this, guys. If you've never heard this is going to blow your mind. You can have your phone. It'll geocode your location. Bam. You can add that to your list, and you can literally cold call that seller because it's going to give you their name and their email, right? So let's talk a little bit more about what you should be looking for, okay? When I'm looking for properties, I'm not looking for properties that need to be torn down, okay? Has anybody ever seen this movie from the 80s, The Money Pit? I know I have. It's hilarious. If you haven't watched it, you definitely have to. So when you're driving, what you want to be careful of is that you're not choosing properties like the ones I'm showing you here. Okay. These properties really are too far gone to be fixed up at this point. So unless they're in a very prestigious location where the land is worth more, I would completely stay away from those. All right. However, these are an example of everything I'm looking for. All of these properties are properties that Pete and I did deals on. Okay. This one was in Jacksonville, Florida. We found all of these driving for dollars. What about this property do you look at and think, maybe I should call the seller about this one? Anybody in the chat? When you're looking at this property, Roy's right. Look at the shrubs. Look at the roof here. It's a little bit dated. Look at these awnings here. So this was a property that we literally cold called. We put under contract and wholesaled. This one down here, one may you think that this would be a good one to call for. It doesn't really look that bad at all, does it? But there's something I noticed about this property. This property is vacant. You're right, Barbara, completely vacant. This is in the North Georgia mountains. They haven't blowed the leaves. It's overgrown. And this house was literally just sitting there. Okay. Same with this one. You've got your, everything, the yard work needs to be done. Now this one, I don't have a full picture. The house really didn't look that bad. The thing is that there was like trash strewed everywhere. Okay. So I knew something was going on. If you could have seen this yard, there's probably 4 dumpsters worth of garbage just out in the front yard. Right. So this is a prime example of something. Now I'm going through, yeah, he said indoor furniture on the outside is a good sign. You're exactly right. I went through this presentation, fairly quickly with you this evening, okay? Because I have something else really cool to share with you tonight, so I want to leave myself time. But I know a lot of you here are like, but Julie, I want to get in this business. But guess what? I don't really have the extra income to market to these people. I understand that. I've been there, right? But let me tell you what you do have time for. There's nobody on this call that could not send a letter without a handwritten envelope to these sellers. If you tell me you can't, that's just an excuse. You can. You can also, for less than 30 cents, go to Deal Driven and get these people's phone numbers and call them and email them, right? And your whole goal there is to set an appointment so that you can look at the house and make them an offer. I encourage you on this first strategy. Go, you may have some time over this next holiday. How many properties do you believe you can get on your list in a week of driving for dollars? You think you can get 30, 50, 100? Yeah, you absolutely can. Yeah, someone said 30. You're exactly right. That's when you're building these marketing lists, this being one of them. Again, this is the highest converting lead source you're ever going to find. And it only costs you gas money and time. All right. So start this strategy now. Get your spouse involved, get your kids involved. Because people love doing this. I mean, my daughter and her friends they send me little texts with addresses on them. So try this strategy, and I promise you will get results. But that's all for driving for dollars right now.
Good stuff, Julie. And guys, please do not confuse basic with not working. I mean, a lot of times in life, we do look at things that are kind of basic, and you're like, well, that's too simple. Heck, anybody can do that. Everybody should be doing that. If it's that simple, guys, yes, the basics is absolutely the fundamental principles of becoming successful. So guys, I'm going to talk to you about a strategy here tonight. Remember, please stay till the very end, because I'm going to show you at the very end how we wrap all this together for our partners, and we're going to literally deliver all this to you on a silver platter. I want to talk to you about a marketing strategy that literally took me, like, this is 2 decades ago, from a total zero, a total like collapse of this business, from zero to the largest investor in the state of Georgia. And then I never looked back. Okay. And by the way, this is the interesting thing. It has not changed. The impact of what I'm about to share with you over the next couple minutes is just as powerful today as it was back then. And that is just a very simple going out there and contacting sellers directly, right? You have to know how to reach out to sellers. From a perspective, here's what I'm talking about right now. I want to focus strictly on perspective of the phone. I mean, I literally built, when people say like, what did you focus on in the first couple of years to get you to the levels you got to? That's all I did. I did 0 direct mail. I mean, what Julie said today was brilliant about driving for dollars. I did 0 driving for dollars. I did 0, pretty much. The only thing I did is every day I got on the phone, I called random. Now, when I say random, guys, like the technology that's available to you guys today to make phone calls is phenomenal. Like you can get access to tax records, very simple. We have the Deal Driven app that gives you access to not only owners from tax, you could skip trace for owners information. I mean, let me just put it this way. It is very, very easy to contact owners now to where it was a couple decades ago. So what I did back then, and I know some of you guys are going to be like, well, that's kind of weird, or like that guy's really dating himself. This is what I did. I called out of the white pages. Now, I could tell you, some of you don't know who, there's a lot of you guys on tonight, you don't even know what white pages are. You know, we used to literally have phone books. I mean, I don't even have books around anymore here, but we used to have phone books like this thick, and everybody's phone number would be in there from a perspective of whatever, you know, Atlanta had their phone book, Cumming had their phone book. You know, every city had their own phone book, and it was just a name and a phone number. And basically, to a degree, that's exactly what I did. So every morning or every day, I would get on the phone and I would contact sellers directly. And my goal back then was very simple. Every day, I wanted to get a hold of enough owners. And by the way, my script was very simple. Hey, I'm a local investor, got your information, you know, it's public, obviously. I understand you may own a house in Atlanta. Would you open a sell? That is my script. Like, some people get into these scripts and some people are like, oh, I can't do this till I sound good. No, my script, it took me about 5 seconds to deliver it. Okay. And my goal every day was very simple. I wanted to have at least 2 people a day tell me they would be at least open to selling. You know, these were not necessarily motivated sellers. These were not people that wanted to give their properties away. My goal every day was just get to the point where at least 2 people every day told me, yeah, if the price is right, I'd sell it. And that is what I did for 3 years straight. Now, some of you guys may be listening to this say, like, 3 years, I'm out. You may be out. Maybe it's not worth it, you know? But I will tell you, if you do this for 90 days, what I just told you, if for 90 days you just get a hold of owners directly and you find people that are at least open to selling, a couple things are going to happen. You'll get enough people that say, yeah, I guess I'm open. Okay. Out of that, you'll get a couple deals at least. Like, because you'll time it correctly. It's not that you're such a great investor at that point. In those 90 days, you'll just time it correctly that you'll catch certain people at the right time. But more importantly, if you just commit to calling as many owners as you can on a daily basis, random owners, utilizing our technology, you will build up a pipeline of people that just say, I'm open. You will not do immediate deals with them, but check out what I'm about ready to tell you. This is where the whole old light bulb should come up. I was just in a conference call a week or 2 ago with an owner of a data analytics company, a huge data analytics company in the real estate space. And they did a 3-year study of properties that we as investors find or buy. And it turns out, check this out. This is very important. 74% of all the properties that we as investors buy, when we initially contact that seller, the price is too high, the timing's not right, it's a no deal. So what does that tell you? If 74% of the deals we do start out with basically a no, what that tells you, it's all about the follow-up. So if you commit to a 90-day run of just contacting sellers and find just as many people as you can that at least raise their hand and say, yeah, if the price is right, I'll do it. What you will do is you will build, aside from the couple you'll get just because you contact them at the right time, at the right place, and they were in the wrong circumstances, you will build a pipeline of people that you will put into your follow-up. And then what will happen, that pipeline of follow-ups will literally go to work for you. It will, because time creates motivation, right? What does time create? Time creates divorces. Time creates job changes. Time makes COVID worse for a lot of people. Time creates health issues. So as long as you religiously follow up with these people, at least once a month to see if anything's changed, you will, in that 90-day run, may only close, like I said, only, maybe 2, 3 deals as a result of that, which is not bad. Make yourself an extra, next 90 days, make yourself an extra 10 to 20 to $30,000. Not a bad little run, but you will create a massive avalanche of deals that will start turning over the next 60 days, over the next 90 days after that, over the next 120 days after that, and you will create momentum. So my kind of big to do for you guys, my kind of strategy, and it's a strategy I preach all the time, commit to contacting owners. And the technology that's available today takes it from the white pages, which is like totally like beyond random. I might as well just like hit 10 random digits of Atlanta back then. That's about as sophisticated as I was getting, right? But the technology today literally gives you the ability to zero in and start pinpointing, with addresses, matching to names and stuff like that. Now, let me just take one more minute and I will tell you where that strategy really goes into a stratosphere mode is when you take that strategy from you, right, making these calls, to teaching a couple people on your behalf to make these calls. And by the way, if you're a partner, we teach you that on a consistent basis, okay? But you have a little army. I'm not saying like 100 people. I'm talking about like 1, 2, or 3 other people making those calls for you, at least the initial contact, that at least when you're calling to people at least that express some kind of interest. That is where my business went from like, kind of like, okay, we're going. And I started bringing a couple of people on to do that. Wow. That's when you start understanding the impact of scale, leverage, becoming a business owner, not just a phone dialer. So that is very, very important to do to get this into it. Literally, if you learn nothing about this business, like from my perspective, and I'm getting long-winded here, but from my perspective, like I never learned the construction side. I can't do anything construction side. There was a lot of things in real estate I did not master to this day, like thousands of deals into it, couple decades into it. I still don't, there's some fundamental things about real estate I know nothing about, and I have no intention of learning. But the ability to contact the seller directly, do it consistently, and then take it to the next step of leveraging out, you could literally go from 0 to hero. That's it. So that's my tidbit. Julie, give us another one from your end.
Okay, so Peter, I want to take your strategy that you just talked about and take it to like the moon. Okay. So I want to share that with you right now. I want to share with you guys a quick story because I think you'll understand what I'm talking about if I share this story. Does everybody see this picture of this house right here? It's all about the seller and the condition or the where they are in life right now. This property is in Cumming, Georgia. Now, if you were driving for dollars, you'd put this on your list, wouldn't you, Pete? I would. Mm-hmm. I mean, it needs work. It does all that. But guess what, guys? I can't drive down every street in 5 counties near me. Okay. But this guy, he actually lives in Arkansas. Okay. He bought this property in 2000 and either 9 or 10. Whenever it was a bank-owned property, but he was buying properties back then as a rental. Remind you, he lives in Arkansas. He put a tenant in there and the tenant has been there 10 years. Guess what happened? 2 months ago, the tenant moved out. So this gentleman had to literally come from Arkansas, come here to Georgia to stay in this house while he fixed it up. Now, the sad thing is unfortunately the guy he's in a physical situation where it's very hard for him to do that, right? But he's a non-owner occupied owner where a tenant just moved out and there was equity in the property, right? This is a jewel of a deal. This is the one I went to Sunday, the one I just got under contract. Would you guys like me to show you how I found this deal? I mean, would y'all really like me to show you like how you could find deals like this in your area? Because I mean, these are jewels. These are absolute jewels. Yes, it was perfect timing, but with this list I'm about to show you, we're able to find these people and understand what the perfect timing is as well. Okay. So I'm going to ask you guys something else. I've already pulled every one of these leads in my area, right? So I'm going to do it in your area tonight. I mean, why not? I believe so much in our system. I want to do it where you are. So in the chat, somebody give me a city and a state here in the lower 48 that I can pull a list for you in your area. Give me some cities here and I'll show you right now. Okay, so let's see. Oh, we got a bunch of cities. I guess I'm just kind of have to pick one. All right, I'm going to pick Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay. And by the way, this is something that I show each and every week to our partners, is exactly which top of these lists you should be pulling in your area and how to call these folks, how to get it under contract. But let me share my screen. For those of you that aren't aware, this is a program called Deal Driven. We use this program to find all of our deals, to get all of our information. We happen to own this software. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go here to the lead building search. Okay. I'm in the lead building search criteria. Let me, I'm going to stop my video for a minute, guys. It keeps my internet a little bit faster. I'm going to look up in the area, which is Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, what this is going to do is this is going to give me a 20-mile search radius around the city center of Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, when I pull that, it's given me over 10,000 records. Well, yeah, I don't want to pull all of Charlotte, North Carolina, because I want to get to the cream of the crop in North Carolina. This right here is how I could be sitting in North Georgia and be working anywhere in America right now. I can, within 6 weeks, I can have a deal anywhere in America just by doing this strategy. So I want to go here to the next, which is select property type. Do y'all remember the story I just told you about the gentleman from Arkansas? Well, let's think about this for a minute. Well, the house, you know, is probably vacant. Wouldn't you agree? The owner is out of state. And by the way, I want all of these conditions. I want all of these things to be stacked on each other. Okay. It's vacant. The owner's out of state. I'm going to go ahead and put non-owner occupied, which means they own a property that they don't live in, just like the guy from Arkansas. And I'm going to add a mail delivery change. Well, what that tells me is in the last 90 days, the person that lives in this property, not the owner, the person that lives in this property sent in an address change. Okay. So they're moving. So how much motivated could you be that you own a house somewhere that's sitting vacant that you don't even live in, and you know your tenant or somebody just moved out, right? Now, this is a very segmented list. We're at 32. Well, let's keep going, shall we? There's another big factor that I want to know here for Charlotte. Because we're investors and we're looking to mostly fix and flip, buy and hold, even if you're doing creative financing deals, I still want equity in my deals. So I want everybody that has at minimum 35% equity or more. Okay. Now, I noticed that there are only 2 properties in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey guys, this is fine because this is, like I said, this is a super hot, super segmented list. For whoever you are that lives in Charlotte, Concord, North Carolina, you need to call these leads immediately. These are very, very, very hot leads. Okay. Now, I'll show you how we can use this exact same information and Look Anywhere. So Peter, let's look at another city here that somebody put. Palmdale, California. Let's go to California. Well, see, there's one here in Palmdale. So you may see one, you may see two, you may see 30 in your city. Okay. Again, this is a super segmented list. The next thing I would look at is taking the mail delivery change off. In Palmdale, all of these people own houses they don't live in that are sitting vacant that have at least 35% equity. Here's another 21 of these. This would be this would be a really hot list in Palmdale, California. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of them. I'm going to add these to my list. I'm going to call it Palmdale. I call these my hot list. I make up these terms for myself so I know which one these lists are, and save it. Okay. Now, I want to show you how easy or how convenient it is. And Peter, this is not like the white pages, is it?
No, nothing to do with white pages.
No. So I want to go to my property list. Okay. I want to go down here, this list I just pulled in Palmdale, California. There's two different ways to look at this. I don't know. I like looking at it list view like this. Watch this, Pete. I'm going to select all of these. I know all of these have equity. I know there's criteria that it meets for all of these. I'm going to skip trace every one of these. And what that skip trace means is I'm looking for their phone numbers and their email addresses. Okay. Right. So like, for instance, let's just take a look at this one in Lancaster. If I go here to the owners tab, bam, their phone numbers. We didn't come up with email addresses for that particular property, but you know they got a property that's sitting vacant, right? That has equity, and they don't even live in California. They're an out-of-state owner. Do you think they might be looking to sell their property? Possibly. Absolutely they are. That is right here. I am showing you the deal that I believe, and I can't say it because I don't know what we're going to make on this deal yet, but I guarantee you it's going to be a minimum 10 grand on this deal. Do you guys feel this is something you can do in your area? I mean, be serious. Can you drive for dollars? Can you cold call? Can you pull these motivated sellers lists in your area? Put it in the chat. Be serious. I mean, do you think this is something that you can do? Well, I'll tell you, I'll answer for you. I know you can do it because I've done it. And we still do it to this day. This is how technology has gotten us so much further, right? So you could be sitting at home amidst this terrible situation we're in with the coronavirus, putting deals together. Okay, there's no excuses anymore. So tonight, I feel that we've given you 3 great ways to go find deals, none of which is going to cost you a serious amount of money. It's going to take some time. Yeah. It's going to take dedication, but you were only one phone call away from doing your next deal, man. Really. One phone call away. You may only be 1 or 2 deals away to doing this full time and not going back to the job or not being constricted on whether you're going to get laid off or not. And I'm going to answer some questions, Pete, if that's okay.
Yep.
So Mr. Bradford said, would you please readdress the mail delivery change tab? So what the system does is that we get a direct feed from the United States Postal Service. Okay. So do you know how like you go online to do a mail, like a mail change, like maybe you're moving from this house to another house, or you go online to do that? Well, what the post office does is that we get a direct feed with them. So every time within a 90-day period, we keep it in there for 90 days and it's updated monthly. At the beginning of the year, it'll be updated daily. So once one of those, once somebody has submitted that, we know that they have committed to a change of address form. Well, why do people move? To go buy a new house, right? Think about it this way. What about the investors that have equity, that own houses that they don't live in, and their tenants have defaulted and they're moving out? Yeah, it's pretty motivated seller. I hope that answered your question. Well, guys, that's all I have tonight. I mean, I could talk to you hours about pulling lists, and you know what? When you become a partner, I'm going to show you 10 different lists to pull. You know, I wished we had a little bit more time this evening, but that is my super hot list. That's exactly how we got our last house under contract on Friday. I hope the same for you guys.
Yeah, this is powerful stuff. So this is the cherry on top, guys, right here. So listen up. I'm going to spend the last couple minutes talking about everything that Julie and I talked about. Because if you notice that the one underlying theme that Julie and I talked about was you got to do, like you got to do driving for dollars. You got to call sellers. You got to pull you. What if we flip the whole thing upside down and say all this could be done for you? Because in the end, the goal is to do, which is marketing. In the end, have a motivated seller or somebody willing to sell that you're going to lead, that you're going to work. What if you can have a system that literally does all of that for you? And what you do is you basically get that motivated seller handed to you. So let's walk through the process. At first, obviously, as you listen to Julie talk, there is a more likely motivated seller than someone else. We call it like stacking, list stacking. You know, it's like it's probably not a homeowner. It could be, but it's probably not. It's probably non-owner occupied property. It could be an occupied, but it's probably not. An out-of-state owner is a great one. So what you do is you kind of stack your list in such a way that you could pinpoint, this is the most likely individual to sell their property to me. The next comes a point of contact. You got to get a hold of, because just because you stacked your list correctly doesn't mean that that's the correct person. So then comes the point of marketing, right? You're direct mailing that person. You're calling that person. Maybe you're sending a text to that person. Maybe you're doing the virtual driving for dollars, right? So find the perfect list, contact that list, and then in the end, hopefully get a seller and you work the deal. So here's what we've done here at Partner Driven. And by the way, we actually activated the system today for one of our own internal callers. We put 100 or so prospects in there. And I didn't save that text, Julie. I don't know if you did. But about 3 o'clock today, I got a text from Delania. Hey, I got a motivated seller. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's how this is going to work now. If you're a partner, we utilizing the exact same technology Julie just said. You
got 5, by the way, between 3 and now, just so you know.
Shut up. 5.
Yep.
Unbelievable. So here's how this stuff works. You have the ability to control what you put into the system. Like you could do what Julie did, list stacking, right? Out of state owner, this radius and all this. Or you could maybe put another list. Like a lot of our partners utilize their own lists. You stick it inside the system. Then, now check this out. This is the real powerful stuff. This system takes over. The system starts texting this person. The system starts calling this person. The system starts emailing this person. And it's all done, and not in the random way, but it's done on your behalf. Meaning when this seller or this owner is getting contacted, they literally think you're doing the texting. They think you're the one who emailed them. It's done on your behalf as if it is you. And the whole goal is to have that owner start responding back. Like, yes, I am interested in selling. Yes, I do own that. And once that trigger happens, that lead is then given to you. And that is a lead given to you on a silver platter. So when I said I spent the first, let's say 3 years, 3 years about of this business contacting sellers, I spend 98% of that time dialing for, 99% of that time trying to get a hold of people that had no intention of selling, didn't own that real estate, and in essence were hanging up on me. Sound familiar to some of you? And I spent about 1% of my time actually making 100% of all my money. Now, if you think about it, that's not a very good use of your time, right? Spending 1% of your time making all of your money, right? But I had to do that because none of this existed. What if back then I could get rid of the 99% of, in essence, wasting time? I know you got to go through to get to 1%, but what if back then I could literally gotten rid of the 99%, increase my 1% back to 100%, but only worked with the ones that wanted me to work with them? It's safe to say I would have gotten to where I am today, probably a whole decade quicker, made probably 10 times more money. Because remember, it's not just put the effort in, it's put the effort in a quality kind of way. Mm-hmm. It's put the effort into the right vehicle, into the right tool, into the right seller. So we here at Partner Driven have come up with this system that literally will allow to stack a list, basically come up with the most motivated seller, or customize a list. You could be like, hey, I got my own list. Fine, stick it in here. Let the system put some dust on it, meaning qualify who the motivated sellers are. Oh, and by the way, do it literally for pennies and a dollar, mm-hmm. right? Like literally pennies and a dollar, and kick the motivated seller out to you.
You know, even too, Peter, you know what's so cool about this system? Because I'm so flipping excited about it. Actually, one of my worries is how we're going to run all these appointments. I'm serious. Like, that's an actual concern of mine.
What a great problem to have.
I know, right? But the thing I love about it is it's not just what you're talking about. Is, you know, at the beginning we talked about future. I mean, your fortune in this business is always going to be in the follow-up. Mm-hmm. Okay, fortunes in the follow-up, just like we said that 3 or 4 times tonight. This system is going to help do the follow-up for you. So maybe you don't have to remember to call John Smith, right? 3 months from now. It knows to do that for you. I mean, guys, this is like mind blown. I don't think you, like, to me, like, Pete, like 8 years ago, could you imagine having this? Dude, we'd have been, I mean, it would have been nuts.
By the way, I totally forgot to it didn't cross my mind, but you're right. Remember, the money, 75% of all the deals are made when that seller says, I'll sell, but it's going to be an unrealistic seller. This system, right, it's not only going out after the motivated seller on the front end, it's taking all those, what we call today, unmotivated sellers, those sellers that so many of us don't even go after, continue to work with them when you don't have to even worry about them. And when finally they're like, I'm ready, boom, it gets it back into your world. Guys, this is what by the way, and Julie, I didn't know those numbers. So we've been beta testing, messing around with it, and we literally unleashed it today for the first time on one of our callers. At like about 1 o'clock this afternoon, About 1 o'clock this afternoon, I get a text from her saying I got a lead. It sounds like throughout the day, there's been at least 1, 2, or 3, maybe other leads. And guys, we only threw like, I don't know, I think they said they threw only like 100 or 200 people into that list. So now that caller, I want you to think the impact. This is one of our in-house callers that every day calls, cold calls, cold calls, cold calls, cold calls, cold calls, cold calls. Today, literally had the system cold call in essence, or do the work with all those cold calls she had to make. And instead of Delania having to make 100 cold calls in essence, she just made 1 or 2 calls to people that say yes. Let's just think about this. Let's say every day your goal is to dial the phone 20 times. Okay. One option is to do it all yourself. Cold call 20 random potential owners. And we all know what happens. I mean, this is not a partner-driven thing. This is just real estate thing. You're going to call 20 random owners. You're probably going to get 19 people that have nothing to do with you. What if the system works this and only kicks out 20 people that raise their hand and say, I want to sell? Mm-hmm. The impact of that? That is exactly what we're teeing up for our partners. I mean, we're not teeing it up, it's working. I mean, today we launched it internally on our own callers, get all the quirks work out. We're launching it with our top partners here very shortly, and then we're going to pass it on to you guys.
Including me.
And yeah, Julie's like, okay, wait a second. I want to run those appointments, but that goes without saying. Guys, if you're a partner, like raise your hand and like, this is freaking awesome. If you're not a partner, if for no other reason, this is the night to get started, because this is what we're doing with our partners, guys. It's freaking phenomenal. So all this to say, guys, it's all about marketing, marketing, marketing. It's not about construction, construction, construction. It's not about raising money, raising money, raising money. It's not all about getting the best closing attorney, closing attorney, closing attorney. It's not about getting the best realtor, getting the best realtor. Those are all important things in real estate. But the thing to master is marketing, marketing, marketing. In today's environment, it is all about marketing to sellers. We're giving you 2 options tonight. One option is we give you very legitimate ways of doing it yourself. Cold calling sellers, like, stacking lists, driving for dollars. Those are all legitimate. Those are all legitimate things. Julie and I have done those things together for years. They all work. But the cherry on top, as we also said, we can do all that for you and just kind of kick it all out. If you're a partner, just sit tight. It's coming up. So if you're a partner, and you know what I'm about to tell you, hashtag Go30Hard. Make sure you pop onto our Facebook. Make sure you got momentum, right? If you're not a partner and you're serious about real estate, I'm telling you, just don't get any better than that. Like I said, we have a team member on standby today. If you're ready to commit and become a partner, her name is Erica. She's at 470-451-2474. I'm sure her number is in the chat. Guys, we enjoyed it. I mean, Tuesday nights has kind of become Julie's and my staple in this business. We've been doing this for as long as we've been doing anything as it relates to our partner program. We are exactly what we say we are. When Julie says driving for dollars, she drives for dollars. When Julie says go talk to sellers, she goes talks to sellers. When I say call sellers, I've called thousands of sellers. And so what we try to do is we try to get out here every Tuesday and we try to share with you guys exactly what we do and exactly what's gotten us to where we have gotten. But we also want to give you 2 options, either to become a partner or to do it all yourself. If you do it all yourself and you become successful, I promise you we're going to cheer you on to success. But I want to also tell you without a shadow of doubt, if you want to shortcut the system, you got to become one of our partners. And all you have to do is just touch base with Erica and she'll walk you through the process. So on my behalf, and I'll flip it over to Julie, but on my behalf, I loved it. I enjoyed it. I love these Tuesday nights. It's just a way to connect with you guys. We'll be back here same time, same place next week. So from my end, I'm signing off. Julie, any parting words?
The parting words I have for you guys is simply this: take action. Okay. You don't have to know every marketing strategy to become successful. Pick one, master it, right? And take action. Just put one step in front of the other. That's it. Okay. Don't get bogged down with paralysis of analysis. Start taking action, come up with your game plan, and let 2021 be the year that you really do what you've been wanting to do for a long time. For those of you who are partners, let's keep going, guys. We had the biggest week of new contracts last week.
Doubled our numbers in 1 week. Sorry, we doubled our numbers in 1 week.
Yes, so we got to keep going. We got to keep going. We got to keep going. So, all right, y'all have a blessed evening, and I shall see y'all soon. Bye.
See you guys.